My content is pretty unserious. Sometimes I post a first impressions video where I just screw off with a character, have fun with it, show you guys what I'm seeing, and give my initial impressions of a character. That has never been a problem until now. And I'm a little bit confused as to why, but I think that it may just be a general lack of knowledge. Sorry for the sub alert. I think it may just be a general lack of knowledge of how Hoyoverse operates. So, based on my experience with Hoyoverse over the past few years, I'm going to tell you how they operate. My relationship with Hoyoverse could be negatively affected because of what I'm about to tell you. But for the sake of transparency and for the sake of clearing up everything, all of the bullshit that has been being spewed my way as a result of me posting an early access video, I'm going to do it. A while back, this image started circulating the internet. New content creator testing server. Unreleased content in the CC testing server is allowed to be shown and explained to the public. The textual and visual content being sent must be first assessed and authorized by MiHoYo. Doing so without being assessed by MiHoYo may lead to the CC partnership being cancelled. For example, you cannot say C0 plus free-to-play weapon character X is outright terrible. Ever since this came out, people have been shitting themselves about all of the creators that are going to lie about the characters now. They're going to lie about the content. You're never going to be able to trust a creator again, right? You can never trust their opinion because they're all going to be filtered through Hoyoverse, and Hoyoverse only wants to make sales, so they're going to tell everyone to lie, and you can't say a character is bad. So I've received so much backlash on the Acheron video. Usually, if I see something that is just straight up insulting me, I just delete it. I block the person. They can never see their comments on my video again. And if you have a problem with that, go fuck yourself. I honestly don't give a shit. If you're being a dick, I have a right to just remove you from my space. So I'm going to make something very, very clear. Hoyoverse does not care if you think a character is bad and you talk about it. And I have proof of that. You see this video right here I'm circling with my mouse? This is a completely honest review of Dia. C0 Dia first impressions. I did this video, it was in early access because that server didn't exist, but this was on the Genshin Impact media server. Before this video went live, I had to send this video to Hoyoverse to get it approved so that way I could post it. In fact, not a lot of people know this, but if you post something straight from the media server, you have to get it approved by Hoyoverse. For some reason, the narrative is that Hoyoverse only has to approve of these videos. What Hoyo wants to see is that you're not slandering the company, which is a completely different thing from slandering a character. Not even slandering a character, just talking negatively about a character, right? If you slander a character, if I just straight up lie to you about a character, if I'm like, yeah, Farina is actually a dog shit Genshin Impact unit, and you shouldn't pull for her because she's also racist in game. Like, if I said that, yeah, that'd be slandering a character, and it would just be incorrect. And Hoyoverse might be like, hey, we would appreciate if you don't do that before you upload it. But Hoyoverse has never given me any shit for expressing my honest opinion on characters. And when I said that Dia was bad, when I said that Dia was a bad character, an unfinished character, you can even see in the thumbnail, they didn't care. Because in my experience working with them, this company genuinely cares more about creators making content that they feel is genuine, honest, and gets the community involved than character sales. Because remember, Dia had a banner. And everybody was shit-talking Dia. Everyone that used the media server said Dia was not good. Now, Dia was a little bit of an oddball, right? Because she ended up going to the standard banner. So maybe you could make the argument that they didn't really care if she sold or not. But I would imagine that Hoyoverse wants to make profits either way, right? The thing that not a lot of people seem to understand is that Hoyoverse wants to approve of everything that goes through their early access servers. This is because Hoyoverse wants to make sure that there is no misinformation, which is just information that is blatantly wrong about the characters, such as my Farina is racist example that is blatantly wrong. And if you said that, they would want you to review that. The other thing they don't want to see is me saying, wow, I really hate Hoyoverse, or wow, Hoyoverse really ruined this character. They don't want to see that. That places blame, that gets witch hunts, that's dangerous for the community. But this example by Ubacha is actually just straight up incorrect. Now, a lot of people are also mentioning that I'm on some kind of Hoyo contract. And if you know anything about how business in the real world works, whenever you're given access to something early that is not public yet, you usually sign an NDA. These NDAs are not the same things as sponsorships. The NDAs are specifically to make sure that you do not break any of the rules, sharing early access server, sharing the early access footage to people outside of your YouTube page. Like, they want to make sure that you are not going to do that. that kind of thing, and every company does this. This is not a MiHoYo's or Hoyoverse specific thing. This is different from a sponsored deal, where in a sponsor, you might be asked to specifically talk about the positives of a character, or a sponsor, you might be specifically asked to talk about the positives of a game, or things to look forward to, or maybe they'll even sponsor you for your honest opinion, which has been done before, but usually creators are not at liberty to say, hey, this is what the sponsor told me I'm allowed to say, because why would they pay you for that? Like, why would a company pay me $5,000 to tell them, hey, the company paid me to say all of this, and I don't actually believe it at all? What Hoyoverse is doing with this early access server is completely different from that, because they are basically saying, here's a playground, go play, and if you want to post anything on it, let me just make sure that there's nothing like slandering the company. Let me make sure that there's nothing that's going to make Hoyoverse themselves look bad, as opposed to the character looking bad. Because Hoyoverse, believe it or not, can separate themselves from the characters, as they've done before in the past with characters like Dia. If you noticed in my video, and I don't know if maybe maybe some of you guys just misconstrued this, but I said explicitly that I fucking hate that her light cone is a big portion of her damage, and I wish it wasn't. What I did is give my honest opinion that if you want to main Acheron, her light cone needs to be your priority over her Eidolons. And what I said is, if this is a character that you really care about and you really want to play, I believe pulling her light cone is actually the right decision, not necessarily that everyone has to pull the other light cone or she's fucking doomed. But I've seen two receptions to this. One, I've seen the reception that I'm just shilling for Hoyoverse to try to sell the light cone, which is not true. Because, fuck, I just think you should not pull for Acheron. If you don't want the light cone, do not pull for the fucking character. But if I say that, you know who's gonna come after me? People that want to pull for Acheron. So there's no winning for me. I gave my honest opinion, and people are gonna shit on me for it either way. I do not care if you like my opinion on Acheron. I do not care if you like my opinion on the light cone. What I care about is this idea that I can't have free thought because I'm uploading from a server that said, hey, we just need to make sure that you didn't put anything like horrendous or awful in the video that's gonna make us look bad. The media server does that too. All of your favorite creators that are on the media server, Pokey, Guoba, Io, Sevi, Slice, Vulcan, there's like 40 more creators that are on the media server who have to get their videos approved before they can post that. And I don't understand what the difference is now with me posting my opinion on a character that needs approval versus me posting my opinion on a character after release that needs approval. Ultimately, there is no difference. Now, to be fair to the creators that were not invited for this special opportunity, I understand why you're mad about it. And truthfully, I feel guilty. I feel like survivor's guilt, almost. Like, why? The fact that I am allowed to do this and other people aren't makes me feel bad. Because I have friends like Sevi. Sevi, to my knowledge, does not have the server creators talk. And when I posted my video, she was like, hey, what's this about? Like, are we allowed to post media server early? I was like, nope. This is a special thing. And I thought she would have access to it. And I feel bad about that because Sevi and I are in the exact same niche. And despite what some people might think about competition and losing views, I want success for my friends and I want success for myself as well. Me posting this video is doing what everyone else would have done, though. You can ask Mtashed. He would have also posted a video like this if he had early access. I'm sure Tectone would have as well. I'm sure Vulcan would have. I'm sure almost any creator, given the opportunity to look at a character early, would have made a post about that character early. Because that's what we do. It's our job. And it's exciting and fun to get the community involved. Like, I want my community to see Acheron early. This is the first time Hoyoverse has ever done this, where they're like giving power to the creators over the leakers, where they want the creators to be ahead and say, hey guys, like, I think this character is really cool, or like, I hate this character. And it's messed up that some creators are going to basically be forced to fall behind, specifically with Acheron. I know that if I was in this position where I couldn't upload anything on Acheron because I didn't have early access, I'd feel cheated. I'd feel like I can't compete. But what this is from Hoyoverse is a test run. They want to see if creators can, at least from my perspective, they want to see if creators can be a better connect with the community to showcase characters. And my guess is also to stomp out leaks. And the reason they chose so few creators to do this is because Hoyoverse as a company is already so skeptical about sharing characters and information early. And I can tell you this as a creator who has worked with them for years. They are so scared to show characters early because they are so afraid of leaks. They don't want creators leaking things. They already know that people come into creators' streams and talk about dreams all the time. And those creators are put into kind of a weird position where they can either acknowledge that they've had a dream or like they have to deny it. And it's awkward for the creators. It's not fun. And so this is their first step towards creating a system that can sort of help creators in that way. It also allows creators to make more content, which is a whole nother rabbit hole we could go down, but like now we can do first impressions before we release our guides, and like that's super cool. But anyways, where I was going with that is that I feel that there are going to be more creators roped in. I've talked with staff about it. They've said that they do have plans if this continues to rope more creators into this program and bring more people in and to allow more creators to get early access. But this just feels extra bad right now because this is the very first iteration, and I feel so privileged to be a part of it, and I'm glad they invited me, and I'm really glad to be a part of it. I want to continue to be a part of it, but I also do hope that they give access to other creators in the future. Now, here's the other thing that I've seen a lot of people upset about. There's a disclaimer at the beginning of the video that basically just says Hoyoverse can strike down your content if you use footage from those videos. And honestly, I feel like this is more so to just make sure that people that make leak content can't capitalize on the people that they are specifically trying to let get ahead of that leak content. There are creators that make guides a week in advance, right? And those creators, you know, if they see other creators uploading video footage of a new character in like their almost finalized state, they're going to take that content and they're going to recreate it into their own thing, which is transformative content. But the idea is that they don't want to help leakers get even more ahead. They want it to be specifically controlled within their Hoyo creators that they let into this thing. This is also why I understand people's concerns about creators being dishonest about the characters, but like I said, everyone on the media server has to get their videos approved anyway. So the videos you've been watching since the release of Honkai Star Rail, all of them are through this same filter that Acheron is through. If you even want to call it a filter. I think it's basically a non-filter, if I'm honest. They asked me to remove one thing from my Acheron video, which was a bug that I didn't even notice. And they said they didn't want it in the video because they wanted to make sure that they could iron out the kinks before they show the finished product. And I was like, that's fine. I took out the bug footage that I didn't notice. I re-recorded it and it was fine. But if you think that I'm going to be dishonest about a character because a company asked me to, and even if they did pay me, dude, something you guys gotta realize about YouTubers is that like when they're at the place that like I'm at, for example, where I'm pretty happy with my viewership and I'm pretty happy like with the amount of views that I see every video and the amount of support that I get, dude, if a company tells me I have to do something I don't want to do, I just won't work with the company. And I think a lot of people are like under this misconception that like the things that I say are all basically like paid out and I'm like this paid shill for Hoyoverse. Dude, if I didn't actually have fun playing AFK Journey for this sponsor, I wouldn't have taken it. This was a lot of work, man, to make this video. I had to learn about a completely new game, completely new systems and everything, and they paid me for it, obviously, but like, if I didn't care about this game, I wouldn't have uploaded on it because this was such a big time sink of mine to make this video in the first place. I personally am at the point in my YouTube career where if a company tells me to do something that I don't want to do, I can go find another company to work with that would let me do the things that I want to do. Like, for example, if I didn't feel like I could be honest about my opinions with characters, because I was honest with my opinions about Acheron, maybe I would just go play Wuthering Waves. And even Wuthering Waves, I got to give my honest opinion on, right? So, I don't know, it's just so silly. This whole narrative has been spun absolutely batshit out of control. Now, for my React creators, I'm gonna just give my honest 2 cents on this. I think they're gonna let you guys react to it. I think this is the first iteration they've ever done of something like this. Hoyoverse is testing the waters, and if it goes poorly, they're probably just gonna remove it, and then the entire community is not gonna be able to see any early access footage of the characters outside of leaks. They're not gonna see the creators get to like do this early access. It's all gonna be on the media server. It's all gonna be like, okay, now we have a 3-week drought until we wait for the new character. So honestly, it's really up to the community what you guys want to see, because if you like seeing early access footage, you have to be in support of the system. Like, unfortunately, like, this is the only way it's going to happen. They're not going to let us post unfiltered, like, private, like, Hoyo created server footage without going through them first, especially not at this stage where this is the first time they're ever letting us use characters before they actually release. Anyways, I had to rant about this. I'm getting so much fucking shit on all my videos, and you guys need to understand, this is not a new thing for Hoyoverse. This has always been how they operate. This has always been a thing for them. And I truly believe that if I thought Acheron was bad, I could say, I don't think you should pull for this character unless you really like them. And that would be it. And they would probably let me post that, like I posted the Dia video way back when, where I was like, yeah, you honestly shouldn't pull for this character unless you really, really like them. I also literally made a video about Farazan where I was like, wow, this character is broken if you shill out a shit ton of money. I also, when Kokomi came out, I said, like, I actually said that I didn't really like Kokomi that much. This isn't the right video, but I basically said that I didn't really care for Kokomi that much. And obviously my opinion of that's changed now, but dude, they'll let you post your fucking opinion. They just want to make sure that you're not going to leak any like confidential information, expose bugs that are not going to be there for full release, or like straight up slander the company or make the company look bad in any way. But if you say a character is bad, that doesn't make the company look bad. And I feel like that nuance is lost on so many people. Anyways, guys, Gallagher video coming out soon. I'll catch you next time.